All right, hey everyone, let's dive into a video on we're going to talk to ChatGPT about citations and references and how that all works. So the typical starting point, hey chat, and we're going to get going. I am an educator and I am concerned about academic integrity with my students and using / creating content that is not original to themselves, but passed off as their own words. Should I be concerned about this as a educator, and how and what questions should I be asking with or on this topic that you feel I should be aware of? Long-winded question, but logical thing to ask. So a lot of times when you're working with ChatGPT, I just ask it specifically what I'm thinking and giving it detail if I can, right? So Chat's giving us an answer now. So obviously, as an educator, it is understandable to be concerned about academic integrity and plagiarism. It's important to ensure that students are producing their own work and properly attributing any sources they may be using in their work. Here are some questions you can ask yourself and your students to ensure academic integrity. What is plagiarism? How can it be avoided? What are the consequences of plagiarism, both in terms of, okay, so we know that. But it's giving us context of questions to ask and to ask students. I'm not interested in that. And part of that problem is I'm interested in a different context. I want to be asking questions about, as an educator, what should I be focusing on when trying to keep integrity? Are there areas I'm missing? Or, are there areas I'm not thinking of? Or are there different approaches I should be thinking of looking at that? That's the type of prompt you could put in, and Chat gets a much better idea. Because I don't care about questions to ask myself or students to ensure integrity. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for questions to ask students. I'm looking for, based off the power and uniqueness and the customization of UChat, what should I be thinking about when looking at this? So I'm going to ask that question. So that is not what I am looking for. I wish I was a better typist. It will come with time. I am interested in learning from you based on the types of content, depth of knowledge, and unique perspectives that students can use to circumvent the process of properly proving their knowledge in the click of a mouse. Let's see what Chat does. So I want to think of the approach that I want is not what questions to ask students or things to do. I want to think, hey, if this tool's here, what should we be thinking about when we think of the context of Chat? Meaning, as educators, what's the deeper thought of how students can use it and how they can approach their learning? So we'll see if I answered it or asked it correctly, and Chat's going to give us some direction here. So I understand your question now. That is true that students have access to vast amounts of information online, and some may try to use this to their advantage by passing off others' work as their own. Here are some types of content, depth of knowledge, and unique perspectives that students may use to circumvent the process of properly proving their knowledge. Okay, let's see what the Chat says. Pre-made essays or papers available for purchase online. Yes, okay, I want this, but with you, Chat. So I'm going to say, I want all of that information but as it pertains, connects, is relevant to students trying to use you as the tool. And let's see if we finally focus chat enough to give me what I'm looking for. I apologize for the confusion earlier. As an AI model, the purpose is to provide information and answer questions to the best of my abilities, and I cannot be used as a tool to circumvent academic integrity. Yes, you can. It's important for educators to make their expectations clear to students, emphasize the importance of academic honesty. Educators can also incorporate strategies to prevent students from using AI models, such as designing assignments, critique that require critical thinking, analysis, rather than just regurgitation of information. Good insight there. Furthermore, educators can emphasize the importance of properly citing sources and giving students the tools and resources they need to do so. This can include teaching them how to use citation generators, providing them with links to academic databases that they can use to find credible sources. By emphasizing the importance of academic integrity, and providing students with the resources they need to succeed, educators can help prevent them from using AI models to circumvent the learning process. Let's state this. We can't stop students from doing what they want to do. Not every student, many students will earn their credentials, whatever that are. And there will still be students who try to circumvent the system because they want an easy solution and they just don't care, or they're just taxed, or life's happening, whatever. There will always be students doing that. And at least chat gave us a bit of nuggets of information here. So what I'm going to do now is we have an idea. Chat saying, well, you can't really do anything, but there are things you could do to help, meaning make more constructive assignments or critical thinking assessments and so on. And that's where we're going to go with this conversation. I didn't expect this, but we're going to do this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy this line and say, I want some examples of assignments, more of their structure, than specific topics on this comment you made. Give me 3 examples. So what I want chat to do is to give me, hopefully, and this is where asking great questions is important, and hopefully I can do it. I'm doing it on the fly right now. But the idea is that if you ask a meaningful question, chat will give you a meaningful answer. So I'm hoping to say, well, give me some examples of activities that are critical thinking or are designed with analysis, and we'll see what chat does. We'll see. That was the hope I was trying to get across, thinking on the fly, a little bit of pressure, even though there's no pressure. But let's see what chat gave me. So certainly here are 3 examples of assignments that can prove critical thinking and analysis and thereby reduce the likelihood of students relying on AI language models. A debate or discussion assignments, case studies, and research papers. So the idea though said, what if a student uses you to create their research paper? What do you do? And now is proving what I am trying to learn from you. So, it's like a real conversation, right? Which is weird to say. So as a language model, I'm not designed to create entire research papers. Okay, that's good to know. It's important to emphasize to students that language models in this case are not acceptable and violates the principles of academic integrity. That's really important because now it's like, great. So if I have a research paper in my class, I can at least put information saying, hey, it's the important that language models are not acceptable and they violate the principles of academic integrity in this context. So you can actually put that wording on your report and at least have some context. Doesn't mean students are going to not magically use it. And if students do, you'll have more means for persecuting is the wrong word, for pursuing what they're doing. So to address the issue, educators can take a proactive approach to preventing plagiarism and promoting academic honesty. They can educate students on the importance of proper citation techniques, encourage them critical thinking and analysis, and so on. It's important for educators to make their expectations clear to students and emphasize the importance of academic honesty. If students are found to be using AI language that circumvents the learning process, educators can use this opportunity to have a conversation. So there's realism in what chat's saying, but there's an element of reality too, saying if students are trying to get around the system, they're not going to really care what we think. within that. And it's a blanket statement. But anyways, the point is there are limitations. How do we think through academic integrity? What should we be thinking of when students potentially could use this for papers? And as Chat said, this is out of all the things, Chat has not said this yet to me, and it's really interesting. I am not designed to create research papers for students or entire research papers. And that's really important because there is a limit on how much Chat will output. But you could still, a way around this, and it wasn't a part of this video, but a way around that is maybe I'll try to create a research paper and do it in its entirety with Chat. But basically, if you hypothetically had a topic and put the topic into Chat and said, create an outline, and took the outline, wrote it down, and then went through and had Chat expand on every single section, you could cohesively build a paper. You would have to piece it together, but you could absolutely do that. So something to think of there. But remember, there would be no connection to references or citations, and that's where you get students to really prove their knowledge. If they're creating a large paper, there's going to be realism and citations and references that are meaningful to the data they're saying. So anyways, hopefully you're inspired and get some insight and see how this could work. And I just want to keep showing you ways to communicate with Chat. And we're just skimming the surface. Like, I got some really awesome things we can do to help you get meaningful insight as well. But that will just take time and more videos. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you have a great day. And as educators, we got to stick together. And remember, my goal is not to stop AI or stop students from using it. The goal is to understand it so I can use it effectively with my students and understand how they may abuse it, and so that I can better support them in this process and really where it fits in education. So that's the perspective. Anyways, thank you very much. Have a good day, and we'll chat soon.